Good evening, everyone. My name is Mai Tran, and I am a parent. Thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. Today, students have the privilege to take school devices home and access countless apps and tools risking exposure to age-inappropriate content. I am concerned with Gmail, Google, Meet, YouTube, and the camera specifically because I've seen upper elementary students share personal files and photos with lower elementary students via their FCPS schools.net Gmail account and Google Slides. On students' school's Gmail account, when composing a new email in the to field or sharing a file on apps such as Google Slides, a student can enter a couple letters, and any student with those letters in their name at the base school and specific teacher's class or group email address outside of the base school will appear for the student to select and send a message. Gmail and YouTube are listed as favorite applications on students' Google accounts, and there are no options to remove them. The camera is also activated by default with no way to turn off. I'd like to suggest that FCPS focus on least privilege, cybersecurity, and privacy prior to issuing school devices to students. Switching to an opt-in approach, so teachers will need to request specific apps to be activated versus the current process having parents ask the school principal today to request specific apps to be deactivated per student or school-wide. I'd like to request that FCPS send a survey to teachers to identify required apps to supplement learning at an age or grade appropriate screen time guidelines using data from objective sources, not technology companies, as I don't see a compelling reason for elementary school students to have access to camera, Gmail, Meet, and the other vulnerable applications available on their school Google account when they don't even know how to type or where the letters are on the device's touchpad or keyboard. So I request and please consider changing to an opt-in approach for
Keep up the good work. All right, good evening, guys. I'd like to tell you a story about a friend of mine, Mark, and his 4th grade son, Tim. Last summer, Tim went to a local overnight sports camp with all of his buddies, a great camp with great reviews. A week into the camp, Tim called home. He told Mark how great the camp was going. He also mentioned that they give out candy all the time, not just after dinner and not just as a treat. Candy for finishing drills, candy for staying focused, candy for participating, candy throughout the whole day. Another week goes by. Mark gets another check-in call from Tim. Mark asks about the candy. Tim says they still give it out all the time. I'm going to read you a text message I got from Mark about this whole thing. So, I did meet with the camp counselor a couple of times to talk about it, but it was really difficult to bring up because the entire reward system is built around the candy. My wife and I were horrified. I met with him several times because Tim was doing really poorly initially, and it was because he has them eating 17 pieces of candy before lunch. So I tried to ask for specifics, maybe give them some fruit in the morning at least. I asked for them to have a sandwich or something more filling for lunch. It's insane. He didn't get it. Then I went to the camp director. The director then went to the counselor, who was upset that I went over his head, but then so generously asked for me to meet with him directly with any food and candy questions to help find a mutually agreeable solution. I really appreciated his candidness, and the meeting was great in that it was finally out in the open. He admitted to using candy as a reward, which they were not supposed to do, and he said that me bringing it up was good for him because it made him go back to look at the candy rewards and make sure he's only using it when it's transformative or enhancing. Oh, wait, this isn't about candy. This is an actual text I got, almost word for word, about the massive amounts of online time the kids have in our schools and the massive amounts of effort it takes to pare it back even a little bit. We know too much candy is bad. We have a mountain of evidence that too much on-screen time is also bad.
Please play the video testimony for Panos Hatsianis.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. FCPS is now a one-to-one device system. Every student gets a laptop, takes it home daily, and uses it during school for almost every class. This started under FCPS On before COVID, was expanded during virtual learning, and then quietly stayed as a default after schools reopened. There was no real opportunity for families to revisit that decision after the pandemic, and no meaningful alternative was provided for those who see more harm than benefit. Research shows this hurts learning. The 2022 PISA report found students distracted by devices in math class scored much lower. A meta-analysis of nearly 50,000 students linked heavy device use to worse academic results. If each student has a laptop always present, attention drops. This is not surprising. You removed smartphones. That was the right direction. But now laptops have taken their place. Kids email each other constantly, watch non-educational YouTube videos, play games, listen to music, all during class. Parents asking for less device time, here there is no opt-out without disadvantage. Parents are not against all technology. We want guardrails and real choices. First, we need answers to these three specific questions. What were the original goals of the one-to-one device program? What actual academic benefits have been measured in FCPS classrooms? What harms and distraction problems have teachers and parents found? These answers need to be documented in a public report. Second, create a technology committee with parent and community input plus research data to review device policies and recommend changes like family opt-outs, device light pilots, and tighter controls when technology is not needed. The board oversees the system. You should first prove to the community that the benefits of technology in the classroom outweigh the harms. If not, technology in the classroom needs to be reconsidered. Then give parents real choice. Stop making technology the automatic default in every classroom. Thank you.
Please play the video testimony of Nehal Jain.
Good evening. My name is Nehal and I'm an IT professional and also a parent at Churchill Road Elementary School. Being close to technology myself, I am not anti-technology. However, I am also fully aware of its harms. Our classrooms are meant to be safe places where children's minds grow through human connection, play, and guided learning. But kids are spending multiple hours a day, tweens averaging around 5.5 hours, and teens reporting about 4 and more hours daily. MRI studies have constantly shown associations between heavy screen exposure and reduced cortical thickness in brain regions that support language, attention, and empathy, a few areas that are critical in elementary schools. That matters because early brain architecture sets the foundation. For students with special needs, these stakes are actually higher. Many rely on predictable routines, human cues, and social interactions. Excessive device use can worsen sleep, attention, and emotional regulation for children with ADHD, autism, and other learning differences. We must also be cognizant of the legal and ethical reality where tech companies and edtech platforms are under growing legal scrutiny for data practices and untested products used in schools. Parents and districts are suing these companies over privacy and undisclosed tracking. These lawsuits are a warning that children should not be treated as experimental subjects. Children are innocent and trust adults like us to protect them, and hence we demand the below recommended changes. Limit daily recreational screen time in elementary grades to under 1 hour during school hours. Require independent peer-reviewed evidence of safety and learning benefit before any edtech AI adoption. Mandate strict students' data privacy and opt-out rights. No collection of identifiable data without